Hi, good day guys. For today's video, we'll be doing a quick battle review about War versus Maximus, and as you can see, Maximus will be playing as light faction. Meanwhile, we have War here who will be playing as part of the Dark Legion faction on the red team, and they are just both starting their game by developing their bases. And as you can see, Maximus' first structure here is I think this will be a sawmill. Yeah, this will be a sawmill for efficient wood gathering. So let's take a look here for War. I think they will be having the same structure, which a sawmill too for War. And yeah, most of the players are, or always of course, starting developing their bases, hiring more slaves or workers so they can gather more resources. And here you go. The second structure is coming from War. We have a barracks. So sooner we'll be able to witness his first fighting units, so it can be a goon of course, or will he go straight for skeleton archers? Because as you can see, I was able to fight War multiple times in 1 versus 1, and he always goes with skeleton archers, either with rocketeers. And if you are lucky enough to survive his first wave of attack, you will be able to witness some catapults in his army composition. Meanwhile, Maximus here, this is the first time that I was able to encounter this player, so I'm really interested on how he will defend against War. Because if there is one thing that I know about War, it is about he is good at attacking bases, especially fighting units. And as you can see, the first activity coming from Maximus, he is instructing his first fighting unit, which is a swordsman, to go to this. Maybe he's preparing for the first batch of chests, because in this map the chests always spawn here and here. Maybe Maximus is preparing for that first batch of chests, or he is trying to wander around the map, so he may have gathered some intelligence so he can know if War is doing some rush attack. But fortunately for Maximus, War did not do that, and I think the swordsman will be going towards War's base to gather some information about the layout of the base of his opponent. And as you can see here, War already have around 2 goons, and meanwhile we have Maximus who already have 3 swordsmen, and one of the swordsmen is here on the War's base. And as you can see, I think War is already preparing for his hero. I think he will be going with his usual set of army, which is Ether and a bunch of skeleton archers. Meanwhile, we have here Maximus, who is now transitioning his army composition from swordsman to warsmith. And unfortunately for that swordsman, he is now dead. So the first batch of chests will be spawning soon. So let's see what Maximus and War will be doing next. It seems that Maximus will be aiming for Gilbert as his primary hero, since he was able to build his human monument. It can be Gilbert or Baron, but yeah, as you can see, Maximus was able to hire or train Gilbert as his primary hero. Meanwhile, War here is not yet training his primary hero, but I guess he will be going for his Ether. And by just looking here, I think when it comes to number of units, fighting units, I think War had the advantage. But I don't know, sometimes these warsmiths are really strong, they can turn the tides of battles. But yeah, I think War will be winning this fight, because War do have these 3 skeleton archers, where the warsmiths are weak against the skeleton archers, not because these skeleton archers are just strong. It is because it is just like the natural thing. It's like rock, paper, and scissors. So yeah, and given that there are still 2 goons who can tank those warsmiths, I definitely see that War will be able to win that fight. And I think now Maximus will be moving to this chest. I don't know why Maximus aims for this one. And as you can see, War is already training his first primary hero, which is Aether. And I think the next units that will be trained is Rocketeers, because I was able to fight War multiple times, and he usually used this kind of army composition. And whenever he were able to complete his arm composition, I am really having a hard time on wiping out his entire army. And as you can see, the second batch of chests will be spawning soon in the center of the map. And as you can see here, Maximus were able to claim the chest on the lower right part of the map. And as you can see here, he is still going for Warsmith, and I think he will be mixing it up with some archers. Well, I think that is decent, because you can see there is also Gilbert here who can tank some damage from those skeleton archers. And now War is moving towards to the second chest. And I think War is now just repositioning his entire army, because there is a great risk when you are playing as Dark Legion faction and you have this kind of army composition, because one meteorite can wipe out all of your skeleton archers, or if there are ballistas around, those ballistas will definitely gonna wipe out these skeleton archers. Well, the reason why I don't actually go with Warsmith whenever I face some skeleton archers, it is because if the opponent knows how to micromanage, of course those skeleton archers are just going to run away, while some other skeleton archers are hitting them. And we all know Warsmith are really slow when it comes to running or walking towards their enemy. I rather choose swordsmen or archers whenever I'm facing this kind of arm composition. Well, it is better if Maximus can produce some ballistas. At least 2 ballistas is enough to wipe out these skeleton archers. And now, as you can see, Maximus is now training some guardsmen along with snipers. Meanwhile, we have Wire here, who already have now Rocketeer. Given that the skeleton archers can overwhelm Maximus units with numbers, and that is equivalent to some damage, once those units are wiped out, these Rocketeers will deal a lot of damage against those buildings from Maximus' base. But let us see how Maximus will be defending against War. And as you can see, there are movement coming from Maximus here, and the next batch of chests along with the mountain elemental will be spawning soon. So let us see how War and Maximus will be responding to this situation. As you can see, War is moving towards the elemental mountain. Meanwhile, Maximus is moving onto the opposite direction of the mountain elemental. Look at that huge numbers of skeleton archers. And as you can see, there are no units who stayed onto Maximus' base to defend it. He only have around 1, 2, 3, 4 static defense. And now, as you can see, Maximus is started to attack War, and his base is being shredded by Maximus, and War responded to it by repulling his entire army after getting the mountain elemental. Now he is running towards his base to defend it. Let us see if Maximus will be able to destroy more buildings towards War's base. And as you can see, these ballistas are really exposed to the skeleton archers, and now there is a transition of targets. Now the snipers are targeting the skeleton archers, and when it comes to the attack speed, I think skeleton archers have the most advantage compared to these snipers. But these ballistas are really doing some damage against these skeleton archers. From 25, there are now only 17 skeleton archers, and Maximus lose a lot of fighting units. And let us see how much War lose in this fight and Maximus. As you can see in battle result, War were able to lose 1 slave and 10 skeleton archers, so that is equivalent to 1400 gold and 1200 woods and around 22 food. Meanwhile, Maximus lose around 2950 golds and 3100 woods and 72 food, and I think that is a major loss from the Maximus side. And now he is trying to defend his base against this mountain elemental. Meanwhile, War is now heading towards Maximus' base. Maybe he is trying to get this opportunity, while Maximus doesn't have any units that can fight for his defense. But unfortunately, Maximus were able to train ballistas and ready to defend the base. So when it comes to damage, I think these ballistas will be doing a great damage against these skeleton archers. And as you can see, War is now dividing his army into two. I don't know if it is divided equally, but as you can see, there are 4 skeleton archers here now. And he sent out his Eater to tank every damage, and now his Eater is using the active skill without hitting anybody, and now the Eater will be going down while these Rocketeers are trying to kill the snipers, and the skeleton archers now are tanking some damage from these guardsmen. And as you can see, Ballista is now targeting the skeleton archers, and as you can see, Gilbert is down, Eater is down. Now it is up to the catapults on how many structures are going down in Maximus' base. Maximus were able to train another ballista to defend his base, and War were able to kill that unit. And let us see the battle result here. War were able to lose around 4,075 gold. Meanwhile, for the wood, War were able to lose around 3,550 woods and 75 food, and he used around 150 mana. Meanwhile, Maximus only lose around 3,175 golds and 2,000 plus woods and 71 food with 0 mana waste. And I think that is a win for Maximus. We were able to defend against a War attack. Now, it seems that War is this spear and Maximus is this shield. Now we need to, or we will be able to witness who is stronger. Is it Maximus' shield or War's spear or arrows? It's like War came to destroy, but Maximus doesn't break easily. It's like aggression meets unstoppable defense in this matchup. And as you can see, there are few skeleton archers right now, and there is a noticeable number of Maximus, crossbow tower, and also artillery tower. And as you can see, there is a movement coming from War, a bunch of Warg Rider, some skeleton archers, and axe masters, and catapults. I don't know, but I think this Warg Rider will be easily killed by these ballistas and snipers. And also to remind you, guardsmen are strong against to any cavalry. So I don't know on how or what War is planning on how he will be able to take over the base of Maximus. And as you can see, one catapult is down, and these Warg Riders are just riding to the wind, hoping to kill some units. And as you can see, War were able to use the Ring of Fire, and the Tower of Light Magic is down, and some or all of the ballistas under the fire ring is or got destroyed, and there are only 3 Axe Masters and some skeleton archers still alive. But I don't think this is enough to inflict so much damage against Maximus, because as you can see, there are still ballistas standing to defend the base. And now, as you can see, Maximus is moving out of his base for the first time. I mean, second time. And I don't know what he is planning, but I think he is retreating again towards to his base. But I admire how Maximus were able to defend his base multiple times against a War, but sooner or later he needs to expand his territory because he will be losing gold resources if he did not move to any gold mine around his base, because these ballistas are very expensive, and snipers and guardsmen, actually all of his units are expensive. And as you can see here, War is now gathering his troops, having a different approach on how he will be attacking Maximus' base. And I think he is now spamming a lot of drills. Maybe he will be aiming for the back end of Maximus' base where there are fewer static defense. Let me just fast forward it. And as you can see, the next batch of the Elemental Mountain already appear here, and I think War will be able to take over or capture the Elemental Mountain with his Ether. Meanwhile, his drill is already on their way towards to Maximus' base. Now, is it enough for this drills to wipe out at least half of Maximus' base? And as you can see, the attack already commenced and these ballistas are prepared to do some damage. And the drills are now on the move. Are they going to take down the ballistas, or are they going to the back end of the base of Maximus? And I think War is aiming for the back end of Maximus' base. Now, Maximus have to choose if he is going to defend the front of his base or the back of his base. But I think Maximus was able to defend both sides. These ballistas and snipers are really effective against today's drills because they do have a long range and a wide damage output. And yeah, I think Maximus will still be able to defend his base. These ballistas are really great against drills, and they are really the best unit for defending your base. They're like a moving tower. And another failed siege from War. And let us see. And as you can see, there is a wide gap of resources lose compared to this two. War lose around 3,750 gold and 3,550 woods and 84 foods with 0 mana loss. Yet that is too much. Meanwhile, we have Maximus here who only lose 875 golds and 650 woods and 20 food and some mana loss around 75. And now I think War is trying to expand his base because maybe they are running out of gold now on their gold mine, and as you can see, there is only 1,981 earlier. Now it is 1,800 plus gold in his gold mine, and I think Maximus is doing the same thing here. Now he still have around 3,527 gold on his gold mine, but sooner or later he will be losing his gold mine, and I don't think that is a good situation, especially if you are continually building your base, since there are multiple attacks coming from War. And honestly, I don't know how Maximus will be winning this fight if he just keeps on sitting in his base. Meanwhile, War here already started on expanding his base. Yeah, I think the slave will be building his citadel here. So let me just fast forward it for a bit. And as you can see here, War were able to build his citadel tier 1. We're able to gather gold here. And Maximus was able to spy on it, and I think Maximus is trying to move out of his base and now trying to secure the mountain elemental. I think Maximus were able to realize that his resources is limited, so he needs to make a move to at least dominate the half of the map area. And as you can see here, War responded with a bunch of catapults and Axemaster and some drills, and there is a ring of fire. I don't know what War is doing, but yeah, he was able to kill one sniper there, and the Eater were able to tank at least all of the damage of these ballistas, and the catapults are target lock onto Gilbert. Meanwhile, Eater were able to stun one ballista. But honestly, it is just a matter of time before Maximus lose some of his resources and can no longer train more units, and I think that will be the end of this battle. And as you can see, War only lose around 2,000 plus golds and 2,000 plus woods and 60 food and 150 mana waste. Meanwhile, Maximus lose around 3,000 plus golds and woods and 75 or 77 food. But yeah, I think Maximus were able to capture the Elemental Mountain and were able to destroy the expo or expansion of War here, but he just keeps on building his citadel to continue his gold mining. And I think War were able to expand both sides of the map, and I think he do have the upper hand here because he still has some resources to gather. And look at those Axemaster and catapults. And now Maximus is moving out of his base, trying to have some visibility around the map. And just to remind you, Maximus doesn't have any manual, unlike War here. And as you can see, War do have the total control of the map. And now, as you can see, War is now positioning his entire army against the Maximus base. So he is trying to reposition his catapults along with the Axemaster. I think War doesn't have to actually destroy the base. He just needs to put pressure against Maximus and waste his entire resources, the remaining resources. And as you can see, there are a bunch of catapults and Axemasters who are now attacking Maximus units because Maximus instructed his Gilbert and some units to go out to his base and start attacking War's unit. And I don't think that is a good idea because Maximus were able to lose some units, and that means that is another waste of resources. Meanwhile, War here still do have some resources to gather, as you can see here. So it is just a matter of time before Maximus either surrender or lose his entire base.
In this game of life, we're the players who never quit. With every failure and setback, we just gotta persist. We're the creators.
Now Maximus only have around 3,000 plus gold and around 6,000 plus woods. Well, I think woods is not a problem for Maximus, but the gold thing, I think he is in grave danger if he doesn't able to at least capture one gold mine.
In this game of life, we're the players who never
And now War were able to gather or to occupy Mountain Elemental here, and now I think War will be attacking along with the Mountain Elemental. But yeah, Maximus is still ready to defend his base with his ballistas and snipers. And another Ring of Fire coming from War here, and I think that Ring of Fire is in a great position and it hit a lot of units from Maximus. And the Ether were able to tank a lot of damage and were able to stun the ballistas. But I think Maximus will still be able to defend against War. Those ballistas are really doing some damage, and thankfully Gilbert is still alive to absorb every damage and provide protection to the backlane of Maximus. Because of that, he was able to survive another fight or another siege from War. But I think sooner or later Maximus will be surrendering, because look at this battle result. War only lose around 3,000 plus gold and woods and around 85 food and 150 mana. Meanwhile, Maximus is losing around 2,000 plus golds and woods. Well, that is quite little, but for a person that doesn't have any resources, I think that will be a big category whether you are going to win. And as you can see, War knows what he is doing, and what he knows is he just need to juice out every ounce of resources from Maximus until he surrenders, or worse, until Maximus can no longer produce any units and War will be just sending his entire units without any problem. Technically, the turtle strategy like Maximus, what he is doing is really good when it comes to the satisfaction that you are able to defend your base. But if you are aiming to win the battle, turtling is not enough. Actually, I learned it from my guild leader or clan leader, which is Aravan, where he used the turtle strategy, but he knows when to snap back. Once he were able to wipe out his opponent's army, that is the start that he will be sending out his entire ballistas army towards to his opponent, and by doing that, he was able to win. And I think I was able to post it on the other channel that I have, which I abandoned. But yeah, I call that strategy as the snapping turtle, because you don't just stay in your base, you actually snap back once you were able to see the opportunity, unlike Maximus' strategy here, who is just sitting completely to his base. And that is a powerful Gilbert actually. He was able to withstand the bomber's damage. But yeah, I think it still doesn't change Maximus' destiny, because once these bombers refuse to give that Gilbert some attention and just head out to the structures, Maximus will be in total loss here. And as you can see, Maximus only have around 36% activity around the map, meanwhile War is more than 60%. So if ever War weren't able to finish off Maximus' base, he will still be winning. So turtling in your base is not a really good idea. You still need to move around the map. It's like having a tie is not an option in War Legends. But yeah, as you can see, we're able to notice one of the guardsmen has been killed, and that is a total loss for Maximus. Even just one unit is important for Maximus. And as you can see, War just keep on sending these bombers. Doesn't even mind, because look at those resources. Around 30,000 golds, 12,000 woods, and 200 plus mana. And I think War is now just playing around against Maximus, because he just keeps on sending 1, 2, 3 bombers. Well, that is not a good sign. Bombers were able to reach the defense tower, and the ballista is down. One ballista is down, and these catapults are really doing a lot of damage towards to the snipers, and these bombers are just keep on coming, and there is a fire of ring, full pressure coming from war. And as you can see, they're here. There is a eater here who are able to stun one ballista, and now we're able to kill Gilbert. The Gilbert of Paladin is now down, and the bombers are looking for targets, and the ballistas are down, and one bombers who did kill one worm. And now, I think Maximus will be losing. Look at that gold resources, 59. What can you buy? What can you train for that 59 gold? What I like about Maximus is he still refused to surrender. If in anything, Maximus, I would like to be your teammate in 3 versus 3 or 2 versus 2, because that kind of teammate that I want, to never surrender. But yeah, Maximus is done here. I think War will be winning this fight right now, because look at that mountain elemental. Look at those rally of bombers. And that's how War were able to win the fight. And it is like around 40 minutes before they were able to finish the fight. But yeah, I hope that you were able to learn something and enjoy the video about War winning the game, and I hope that you learned something on how to expand your territory and why it is important to expand your territory at the perfect right time, because if you don't, of course you will be losing your source of resources like golds and woods, and if you are in that situation, of course you will eventually lose the game because you can no longer train more troops to defend or at least attack for you. And yeah, I think that is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe the video and the channel. And yeah, see you on to the next battle. Bye for now.